Welcome to Rockstar Doctor Life. I'm Melissa Longo. As a chiropractor, I believe we have the profound ability to impact our communities and people's health on a global level, while also enjoying rich and rewarding personal lives and giving attention to the things that matter to us. Each week, you'll hear an inspiring conversation to give you ideas and insights to rock your practice, pursue your passions, find more connection and meaning in your life, and create a life and business that works for you. Hey there, Rockstar listeners. Once again, I am thrilled to introduce you and to learn more about an amazing woman who's got some great wisdom and insights to share with us today, and 20 years of practice experience as a chiropractor. Welcome to the show, Dr. Auda Tovar.
Thank you for having me.
Did I get your name right? I apologize if I didn't.
No, you did. That's awesome. Not many people can say that.
So as always, I'd love to start if you could just give us sort of what is Dr. Auda doing these days? Give us a snapshot of life for you right now, the things that you're doing in practice, the things that you're doing outside your office. What have you got going on these days?
Well, it's the summer, so in practice, we tend to see more kids than usual in the mornings because they're off from school, and I always have activities that we happen, like we have back to school activity now coming up in the month of August, because here in Miami they start on the 20th, they start back to school. So we have a lot of fun. We put a lot of fun music. I like to have fun in practice. I feel when we are having fun and laughing, we're healing better. So that's what's happening in the office. And probably also we're bringing a new doctor. It's going to be like an independent contractor. So we're going to be open 6 days a week. And that gets me really, really excited because I travel a lot and that will have a covered doctor right in house. But yes, I'm still having lots of fun in practice, and probably I have a very open practice. It's not big. It's like 1,000 square feet, but it works, and I still enjoy practicing to the fullest and enjoy seeing kids a lot. I love seeing kids, seeing babies, seeing pregnant moms, and having lots of fun while helping people heal.
And so if I'm correct, you also have 2 teenagers. So you've been in practice longer than you've been a mom. So how did that shift when, you started to have children? And tell us about that journey for you.
Well, don't tell my kids, but they were not planned. So when it kind of I got pregnant right after we had just opened our office. I had been practicing since 1999, and we opened my office in 2000, Dynamic Chiropractic Center, and I got pregnant that same year. So it was kind of stressful, I would say, because my husband then did not have a license. I was working my office plus another job just to keep the family going. But the kids just kind of fit in. I breastfed both children, and I brought them to the office. Especially my first one. I brought her in, and people will wait while I was breastfeeding. I have the best patients in the world, because come on. And while I was pregnant, I was throwing up like 9 months, and I would throw up, like literally adjust and then throw up in the basket next to it. It was just, I can't believe I even mentioned this here, but you know what? You just adapt as you go, and life would always show you a way. So now that I think about it, I think it was crazy what I did back then.
Yeah.
But it worked, and my patients kept coming somehow. I was huge, and so every part of me was always touching them, no matter how I decided to adjust them. There was always a part of me pressing on their bodies. So it was fun times, and bringing the kids into the office was surely fun. Patients help you. They want to see you thrive. They love the fact that your kids are integrated in the office. When my son was around 6 months old, I did decided to get some help for my house, so I wouldn't bring them both. They were very close. They're only 17 months apart. So it was kind of hectic to have them both there. So I had somebody at home that was helping me. So I would rush to the house, breastfeed my son, and come back to the office. But it worked. It's just, I went back to work immediately, pretty much. I couldn't take much time off because my husband didn't have a license, but it just worked. Now that in hindsight, it all worked out.
Yeah, somehow it always does, right? And I love that you shared that for several reasons. One is that it gives that realistic dose to all the new docs, any students who are listening, any moms in practice. I mean, that's the reality that many women in practice face because they want to raise their children in a chiropractic lifestyle. They want to breastfeed their kids. They want to be present with them when they need something. And so sometimes it is that juggling and the lack of sleep that you'll get. So not only did you give us a good, healthy reality check of what life with young children looks like when you're in practice, especially if you're on your own, you don't really have a lot of time to take off. But I think it also reminds the dads listening that the empathy to have for your sisters in chiropractic, because we're often dealing with other challenges sometimes.
Oh yeah. My ex-husband back then, the father of the kids, he didn't have the license, but he would stay also, and he did all the duties. The only thing he wasn't doing was breastfeeding, honestly. So he was amazing, and having a support system did help for me. And he was my support system. I didn't have like my parents or anybody, but so it does help. You just got to work as a team and look out for the best of the family. I don't feel that we need to wear the hats like the dad needs to do this or the mom. I feel you work as a team and you help each other as you go, and whatever works. I know so many practices of husbands that stay at home and the women goes and sees the patients, and it works as long as it's agreeable as a family and it's according to your values.
Well, and that's
I think there's no labels.
Right, and that's a big core value of the show is finding what's going to work for you and creating your own rockstar doctor life. That means that the mom is staying at home, or the dad is staying at home, or both parents are staying, in the practice, whatever it looks like. It's you can design whatever kind of life that you want for yourself. Now, so you've been in private practice your whole career. Did you ever have any other practice situations? Were you ever an associate or traveling?
Well, no, I graduated December 97, and then in Florida, you have to do an internship. So I did an internship in 1998, and then worked for a chiropractor, not as an associate, in 1999. I didn't want to sign an associateship. Probably, maybe, I don't know, in hindsight, maybe I should have. I feel that you learn so much, but I did learn a lot from this doctor. He was very kind to teach me. The same with my internship. That doctor was just amazing here in Miami. And so 1998 and 1999 were like my learning go. And then I decided to just open my practice just like that. I didn't think much through it. Probably that's been one of my qualities, very impulsive. And I just literally sold my house with that money that I got from my house, moved into my mother's, and opened my office. So one of those moves that obviously I don't regret now, but I have had to learn as I did it. And all the mistakes and all the things you learn as you go. And that works too. You can sign a contract with somebody and learn as much as you can and do an internship or you work as an associate. It doesn't matter. As long as if you're giving yourself that time to learn, then be a sponge and learn as much as you can. Just as long as it doesn't take away your passion for serving or your passion for doing it, because sometimes I've seen it in too many people that have taken on mission trips, too many students and early doctors that do this associateships, and it's not the best of scenarios, and it kills some of that joy and passion and go-getter thing that we have in chiropractic that is so great when we have your own office. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I'm sure that your experience doing the mission trips, and I'd love for us to talk a little bit more about that, allows you to stay really engaged and fired up about chiropractic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have there been other things that have helped you in your time in practice keep you inspired, keep you motivated? Have you had any really powerful experiences or mentoring or coaching programs that you've participated in that really helped you?
Yeah. Yes, I'm much of a fan of coaching. I feel that staying accountable with anybody, it could be a friend for that matter. You don't have to pay somebody, but I feel that really, really works. It really worked for me. So I started coaching early on with the Master Circle, and I have a lot of great coaches that I look up to from those days, and Larry Marson and his son Rick and Janice Hughes, and Alan Russo, all those people were great influencers and kept me accountable and kept me putting systems that actually worked in my office, because as you can see with this conversation, I have been a little scattered and very spontaneous and in the flow. But when it comes to practice, I feel that systems are the things that are going to save you besides passion. So systems with passion is a great marriage that is going to create a successful practice. And I feel that when you do some coaching, that's what you get. You get some systems, and that you can put into place, and you can see how it works. And it doesn't mean that you have to marry the system like exactly how it is, but you do need to have some systems that work for you. Mm-hmm. And you can tweak them as you see how it works. So in practice, yes, going to DE back in the day, definitely Dynamic Essentials. We also have here something called Saturday Night Live. And here in Florida, we're very blessed to have amazing, passionate, principal chiropractors that have been holding this once a month Saturday meetings, and they just keep you fired up, because being in practice can sometimes bring you down because of the insurance, or people missing, or people not getting the big idea. And I could say 100 things that could go wrong, but we're not going to focus on the bad. But that's why you need to have something that you plug into. Whether it is systems, whether it is coaching, whether it is groups, friends, masterminds, anything. But I feel we do need that in chiropractic, just to keep fighting this battle, or keep pushing forward onto teaching people what true health is, because there is so much from the outside that is not letting us sometimes.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of docs share, and I've certainly felt this myself at times, practice can be really lonely at times. You can feel like you're the only one dealing with someone who is not trusting your recommendations, or a staff member that you're having a challenge with, or maybe a skill that you're trying to improve, and we feel we're all alone sometimes, and the reality is we are very much not alone, and there's a lot of consistency amongst the challenges that docs have. So I agree with you 100%. Finding the right people to connect with and having a place, and now it's obviously easier than ever, because you can check in with people on on social media and in different groups and programs that are available, Facebook Lives and podcasts. There's a lot of great ways, but nothing ever replaces being in person with someone. So you are very lucky that you've got a great network there right in Florida.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I should go more often. I really do. But at the beginning, that definitely helped me. And the doctor that I worked for at the beginning, it was like mandatory, which it was mandatory for us, for the staff to go. And it just keeps you plugged in. And it's just like working out at the gym, right? Yep. Sometimes it's hard to get there, and you're like, but after you do it, you feel so much better, right? Same thing with masterminds, or with having a group that you can see, that you can relate to, because indeed, just like Dr. Ed Osborne used to say, we're more alike than different. And we're all suffering of the same thing. And if we just connect and we're raw and honest with each other, we can learn so much more, and we can feel relief and actually focus on the growth and on the good.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned systems being a key to a successful practice. Do you have a specific system that, for maybe it's for your new patients, or your reports, or follow-up visits, or anything like that, that you think is really powerful and really important for docs to consider?
Oh, yeah. I feel that there's got to be a system for visit 1 and visit 2, at least that I focus a lot on that. And I do group report findings because I sell packages. That's just how I choose to practice. I love people to choose wellness care. And yes, they're going to be in pain at first, let's face it. But I want them to see the bigger picture, and I try to promote that. And that's the kind of fun practice I like to have. If I see a patient that is always complaining and not following through, I'm the first one to refer them out somewhere else. Just because I've been in practice 20 years, and I know what keeps me being my best chiropractor and my best everything. So I try to surround myself with that kind of energy. So the systems that I am really keen about is just visit 1 and visit 2. So I go over this with my staff every week. I do 2 hours of training every week. And I go over visit 1 and visit 2 and recalls and revaluations, just because I feel it's so important to get the foundation right in order for us to provide the best service that we can for the people that so much needs us. So those are the systems that there's so many more. And I try to do the group report findings, and they need to bring a support person to this, because I want to educate as many people as I can. And that's just the best way. And the patients that do tend to get better results in less amount of time, spend less money, be happier. I'm happier, win-win. better world, better humans.
Yeah. Your mission extends much bigger than just within your practice, right? You want to help your entire community. And I know you want to help doctors connect with their passion for chiropractic, you know, outside their own community as well by doing the mission trips. How did you get started with ChiroMission?
Oh, that's a funny story. It really, I was actually I was at a Saturday Night Live one time. I had been in practice 10 years already, 2 kids. I felt like, you know, my life was over, you know, the minivan, the house, the 2 children. Okay, is that too raw for here?
No, that's perfect.
So I had one of those epiphanies, right? And I'm like, I need to do something. And I always wanted to go on a mission trip, but you know, it's never time, never the money. I'm in practice, 2 little kids, you know. All the excuses that we can put for ourselves. And I remember one of my friends, Dr. Eddie Martinez and Dr. Judson, were going on a mission trip. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to piggyback on this one. And I decided to just do it because it wasn't my bucket list, period. It was just like to fulfill an item on my bucket list. I was having one of those midlife crises, right? So I went on this trip. I literally signed up 2 weeks before it happened. And I went on this trip, and as I am there, I had never even done a seated cervical, to even be clear. And I'm super nervous, and I'm going through all the things, and it was just like an eye-opening experience. I was like, wow. It just, I got the spark back. I felt the passion that I had while going to school. It was just like a repurposing of what chiropractic is, of how it works, even if you don't know the language, even if you don't say anything. Chiropractic is just so beautiful. It's such a gift, and we need to give it. It's most, especially to the less fortunate. And we obviously went to very poor areas, and it was so eye-opening that I said, okay, this is just crazy. So I told the organizers back then, like a piece of my mind, because I said, you know, this is amazing. You need to organize it better. You need you know, all these women Latino things. And I just thought I could tell them that they needed to change the whole thing. And when I was going to the airport, they asked me to be part of it. They said, could you please help us make this? And I was like, no, I don't have time. I asked one of the students, but this is just amazing. Don't ruin it. It's a great experience. But you know, they twisted my arm. They asked me the next trip, Dr. Gentempo was going, and they asked me to translate for Dr. Patrick Gentempo. And I said, I am on this. I was like, what? I'm going to hang out with Dr. Patrick Gentempo for 3 days? Oh, please. You don't even have to ask me twice. So I got the opportunity to do that, and I've been involved ever since. It's a lot of work because it's nonprofit. We don't get paid, and it's a lot of planning and a lot of dots, because when you're working with third world countries, there's a lot of things that don't go as planned, and you just learn to go with the flow, and you know that whatever happens is exactly what needs to happen. So it has taught me so many lessons, as well as keeping me fired up, as seeing the miracles in chiropractic every single darn time, even if even if you're not fully there, it just works. It's so beautiful what we have to offer. And it has given me the opportunity to meet amazing leaders in our profession, to meet students from every single school there is, and to see how we can all come together, which I feel is so needed in chiropractic, just with a loving heart and the power to give what we have. And we just come together with that intention and create miracles the whole way.
Yeah, would you say that? So obviously, listeners, we will have links to their organization and upcoming trips that they might have.
ChiroMission.com.
Yeah, and so you can stay in touch, and it's certainly on my bucket list of things to do. So I wouldn't be surprised if you and I end up traveling together at some point. That would be phenomenal. I know a few other girlfriends who, we just always hear the same stories of people who've done mission trips and never come back the same ever again.
Oh yeah, you can never complain ever again. It gives you such amazing perspective. Obviously, we have missions in every one of our towns. We have missions in our household. We have missions in our practices. But you will never complain, because your worst day here doesn't compare to their best day there.
Right.
So it just gives you a new sense of reality that we wouldn't have any other way. And it just lets you see things from a different perspective. That is so powerful. And instead of complaining your ACT is off, your CA called to quit, whatever, all these things that we can magnify to become such life drainers of energy and of our powers. Instead of that, you just take a breath and you just go back to that moment, and you realize that it will pass. It's not a big deal. It's just a moment in time. This too shall pass. And yes, I will find somebody else. If she quit, it's for a good reason. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just adapt and go and learn from yourself in the process. So it's been a tremendous gift to me. ChiroMission has really, really changed my life for the better. And I'm very grateful that I still get to do it.
Has it changed how you define success for yourself in practice, or forget just in practice, I mean, as a human being? Because that's something that I always like to ask people. For a long time, we've been caught up with defining our success in chiropractic just strictly on numbers and volume. And there's so many chiropractors who are challenging that and looking at what's your lifestyle like, and how are your relationships, and what's your personal health like. So how would you define success for yourself?
Oh, wow. Wow. Success has gotten very simple for me. The more I've lived and done, the more simple success has become for me. To me, success is just the happy moment. You know, it's just a day in which I feel at peace with myself and others, in which I feel I'm doing all I can to help my mission, which is to spark the light in others. So a successful day could be just, you know, the one that I just did all my errands because they didn't get to go to the office that day, and smiled at everybody on the street, and everybody got some good energy from me. It can be as simple as that, and as expansive as being on big stages and doing all these things, because I'm still fulfilling the same mission. So to me, success is doing something towards my purpose every day. That's it. It could be as little as, again, smiling the clerk at the supermarket, or just having a moment with my children, or having an amazing testimonial from a patient. It could be just, it's the little moments that make part of this big, colorful picture, that it is my purpose in this life.
Yeah, helping someone else see the light in themselves.
Helping somebody else. And it just, I used to define it by so many things. And what I found was that every single time I would hit a target, I wanted something else. So I never was able to just enjoy the moment, enjoy the success, or what we called it, right? It was always like this constant striving for the next target and the next target, and it wasn't giving me peace. So I chose for peace. I chose to define my own level of success. Doesn't mean that I don't want to help more people or spark more light in everything I do, mission trips, speaking on stages, or my office, or raising my children, or get naked. It's all the same thing. I'm sparking the light in others to live a fuller life so I can make a difference in this world. But I no longer put it by numbers. I no longer put it by deadlines. I have taken some of that stress back, because that's just a way of loving me.
That is a brilliant answer. Thank you for sharing that. I think that it encapsulates a lot of your personality and your gift, and the things that people would see when they hear you speak and they get to know you. Now, you know, you've got so much energy. You take care of yourself. You're a mom of 2 teenagers. What do you do to keep yourself healthy as possible, physically, emotionally? I mean, what does self-care look like for Dr. Aura?
I'm very big on self-care. And my kids know it. I always tell them, mom comes first. I say, if mom is not well, neither will you. So self-care is a huge thing for me. I make windows of me time every day. So yes, for me is my morning routine, which includes my grateful journal, or my vent journal, whatever you want to call it, depending on the day and the moment. I have time with my journal. I have time with prayer. I have time with visualization. And again, some windows are smaller than others, depending on the day. And I do not punish myself for not doing 30 minutes instead. And if I only have 10, then it's fine. I make the best out of that. But yes, me care is time for me in the morning, and it's time whenever I need it. I just step out of the picture, and I take some time just to reassess why I'm feeling anxious or upset. It's me time. Me time is very, very, very much part of my daily routine. And when I see that I'm just getting offline because I put too much on my plate, I make an even bigger window. So, and I make time for them that is just separate for them, and time for my partner if I have one, time for my friends. I make a spa date at least once a month. I make those times and I schedule those times because I know it is essential for me to help others. I need to make my time. I need to make time for exercise, time for for the spa, time to go to the sauna, things that I know are going to revitalize me. And at the same time, I make time for going dancing once in a while because that is something I love. And I know when I do, all this energy goes out and good energy comes in. So you have to know those things that you love and just make time to do them, because it's just like going to the gym or seeing your girlfriends after you're done. You're like, oh my God, that was so awesome. Why don't I do that more often? Or making a date with your husband or your spouse, whatever it is, you got to schedule those times, because if not, honestly, it won't happen. And the world can cloud you with 100,000 things that are only going to drain you more so you can give even less.
I love that you said that when things are going a little crazy or you're feeling drained, that you up your self-care rather than, that would be for a lot of people when it would go to the bottom of the priority. Like if you feel too tapped out in running the practice, in parenting, in the demands of running a household, the self-care tends to be for a lot of people something that gets pushed aside, but you're saying you crank it up if that's the case.
Oh yes. Oh, yes, because I've gone through enough in my life to know that if I don't love myself, if I don't value myself, nobody else will. So,
and that's something that you're teaching people now with your Get Naked series, right?
Yeah. Yes. Get Naked is all about, being real with you and telling yourself your truths, because we lie to ourselves a lot. And we say we want these things, but we're doing opposite, right? How many people that say, oh, I want to lose 15 pounds, but every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they're going drinking and eating. So you're acting differently than what you say you want. So Get Naked is really becoming real with yourself and finding out what you truly, truly want, and then living according to those values. And yes, loving yourself enough to let go of the things that no longer serve you, so you can create the systems that work for you to thrive in whatever purpose or area of your life you wish, because it is different for everybody. But self-care is a big part of Get Naked, because at least I have learned through my own experiences that if I don't take care of myself and if I'm not well, what are you going to offer? It's like you cannot, a naked man cannot lend a shirt because he doesn't have a shirt of his own. So you cannot offer what you do not own. So I see that a lot in chiropractic. We chiropractors get so caught up in service that we forget to service ourselves. We forget to get adjusted and do things for our health care. So how can you be preaching health when you're not doing it for you?
Right. And how did the Get Naked series start? Like right now, that is something that you started within your practice, something that you were sharing with your practice members, a program, and now it is expanding to people outside your practice. Tell us how that started, and give us a little bit more information about the program, because I'm sure this is something that a lot of listeners can understand and possibly benefit from.
Oh, sorry. Get Naked was born in 2014 as I was going through an abusive relationship. I was in an abusive marriage. And yes, it's not easy for me to admit that a person like me ended up in a relationship like that. Hence, how I use all the years of going to seminars and retreats and all the personal growth stuff that I had learned, because I've always been very interested in personal growth and physical behavior and your mindfulness, all these things. I've always been very interested in that subject. But I ended up in this relationship that was very abusive, and I lost my self-esteem, my value. I was losing myself and spending way too many nights crying in the floor of my bathroom, or even prying the door because he was just jamming it, trying to get in. So it was really hard, dark times, I will tell you. Very, very, very dark times. And out of those dark times, I started putting together all the things that I had learned already to create a system that I could use daily, just to keep functioning in my practice and parenting my children and mission trips and everything else that I was doing. So I created these systems that were constantly just helping me get up and go, and get up and go and keep doing it and keep doing it. And most people didn't even know that I was going through this mystery, because I will be able to function and keep a smile on my face and do everything else. So Get Naked was born for me, right? It was to help me. And then I realized that it could help others also release all these things that were binding them to unhappiness, all these fears and victimhood stories, and he did and she did, and all these things that we get caught up, and all the excuses that we put in order not to reach our dreams. So I created this system, and it's been like a one-day seminar for a few years now. And I've spoken on big stages, Parker, Live, definitely here in South Florida, my mission trips, because of Get Naked, because of that being born. And now I'm creating an online system, because I know if so many people have been blessed to do it in my offices, I definitely could be blessing many other people that I haven't even met. If they follow those systems, I'm sure they are going to thrive in whichever area of their lives, because it's step-by-step processes to accept, to reflect, to let go or get naked, and then to thrive in those areas that you want to see shine.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just think it's such
no,
a power.
It's been a long process. Go ahead, Melissa.
It's just, it gives me chills. I just think what a powerful example of someone taking a personal challenge and turning it into a gift to share and inspire others.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I teach in the Get Naked series is that everything that you feel was a drawback is your blessing. And it's just doing the work, which is hard, because if something bad happened to you, and there's horrible things that have happened to many, many people, and I tell you there is a blessing there, you're going to probably slap me in the moment. But there is a system that we use in order to see how that is a blessing in your life, so you can clear that energy, so you can see the beauty in the process, so you can stop with the anger and resentment, and you can release all those things that are only keeping, like, having free rent in your mind and robbing you of the potential, the opportunities, and the abundance that you deserve.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just for women, it's for men, it's for people of all ages.
Oh, yeah.
It's a program that can really, listeners, help anyone who's dealing with any place that they're stuck.
Yeah.
And needs to find a way out.
Right. And obviously, it's only a program for those people that are willing to do the work, because personal work is not easy, okay? It's uncomfortable. And I need to be honest. This is probably not for everybody. If you are happy where you're at, if you like to be a victim, if you thrive on making excuses and complaining, that probably then this is not for you, because you will have to release all those things and look within and find the love. And that is hard for some people. So yes, you got to be ready to say, okay, I'm making the choice to really get naked and see the truth behind it all, and then find my why and go after it.
But that's the thing that I think so many people who work with, whether it's in our practice or people like where we mentor people, you've got to be willing to do the work, whatever that's going to look like. There is no magic formula for a happy life, right? There are a lot of ingredients and ways of living that support people, but you've got to be ready. Yeah. If you want a fit body, you got to train. If you want to be healthy, you need to get adjusted. You need to eat the right food, be positive. We know as chiropractors what people need, but when it comes to looking inside and figuring out some of the barriers that might be holding us back, maybe the belief systems we have, that's hard work too. And you've got to be willing to go there. No one else can do that work for you. No coach or mentor can erase all of those things. It's up to us to heal ourselves, right?
Oh my God, that you said it perfectly. It is up to us. And I always tell, people come to me and they're like, no, but I want to know if this is right for me. I want to know if this, or they want you to give them this solution. And I was like, I'm going to help you, but the answer is going to be within. It's not even going to come from me. It's just guidance, It's just we're not asking the right questions. Same in our offices. We sometimes are not asking the right questions to let people realize that this is part of their value system. And if they don't do something about it, it's only going to keep getting worse. So yeah, the Socratic method is wonderful for any area of our lives, because the answers are always within. If you just dare to look and dare to do the work, the miracles will show up. It's just how it is with anything. And indeed, there's no magic pill. I don't have a magic pill. There is daily work that I do. I do it every day, because life is also happening to me. I am not perfect, far from it. And I am running a practice on my own and having 2 kids and doing all these things. So there are systems that I need to put in place constantly. And whenever I get lost, I go back to center, just like you would with a workout program, just like you would with using your retainers or keeping your relationships or maintaining your car, maintaining anything you want. You need to get back to center and work. And it needs to be consistency.
I think that's a great way for us to wrap up the show today. A lot of power in those last few statements that you made. If there was one thing, though, that you, looking back now on 20 years of practice, if there was one thing that you would love for all chiropractors to know, what would that be? Anything that you wish you knew back, 10 years ago, 15 years ago when you were a new grad, like, it's so powerful, the memories you have in practice when you stay engaged and stay fired up, right? You have more.
Oh, that is for sure. But I guess the one thing that I would tell new practitioners, and I think I've said this to a lot of the young chiromissionaries that have come on our trips, is to learn to say next. Learn to say next. And not judge yourself so hardly. Some people will get it, some people don't. And it's okay. It's part of the journey. You just keep on keeping on and you will bless others. But we sometimes get caught up in the losses. We get caught up in, oh my God, that patient didn't sign up for care. That patient quit. And then that drags you down and you're just robbing from the other people that are there. You're robbing, you're taking away from them having your full energy on. So I think learning to say next and letting go of those, of judging yourself because you didn't have a good month in practice or you did something that wasn't healthy for you, whatever it is when it comes to practice, or you didn't choose the right staff and look, they quit, they stole from me and and you get caught up in that. Just learn to say next and have clean slate. Erase, get yourself an eraser board and have it as an anchor in your desk. And know that you can just erase. I also use the analogy of having like a bottle of coconut oil on your desk. So every day that somebody says something wrong, or Dr. Tovar sucks, who knows, whatever it might be, or the staff did something, you just let that slide. Let it slide because you just imagine yourself putting that coconut oil on yourself and letting it go. Let it go every single day. It's like constant cleanup of your mind, constant renewing of your soul and renewing of the clean slate so you can draw a beautiful picture again. And it's just moment to moment, day to day, month to month, without the judgment of what I did, what I didn't do, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I think that's the advice that I would give.
Yeah, that applies to practice life. That applies to personal life challenges that we face. Like you said, having a weekend where maybe you didn't exercise or you had an argument with someone. Like, we just have to learn to keep moving forward and onward, right?
Yeah, I love it. Every morning, one of my routines is, and I will give you this for your listeners, that if you do this, you're going to be so much happier. Okay, every morning, part of my daily routine, as soon as I get up and I'm going to a restroom, I look in the mirror and I say, good morning, Aura. I love you and I accept you just as you are. I forgive you for whatever you want to say, like that bottle of wine last night. And let's have an amazing day. I think that is just, you clear with yourself first before you face the rest. Yeah. So that is a quick tip that I give my Ganeke people, because if you do that, then you're ready then to connect, but you're not starting the day with the resentments of yesterday, with the self-judgment, with the, oh my God, I finished my notes. Are you kidding? Now I have to go in the office and just judge yourself the whole way there because you didn't finish your notes from yesterday. So that is a good cleanup way so you can start brand new and just enjoy every moment as it comes.
Yeah, it's making me think of one of my favorite t-shirts, which says, don't look back, you're not going that way. Right?
It's so true. What more? But we all get caught up, I'm not saying I am innocent of this behavior.
No, but we're saying that we all need a reminder of it constantly, that we can't erase everything that happens in our past. We can always learn from things and move forward.
Yeah. It's just, I feel that there's everything that happens, as chaotic as it may look, it's just another opportunity for growth and another opportunity to see the blessing in it. Even when we're in the middle of the storm, sometimes we don't see it, but trust me, it is there.
Yeah. Well, this has been a blast. I'm so thankful I've had the chance to connect with you today. I know there has been a ton of value, not just for me personally, but for everyone that's going to get to listen to this episode. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Melissa. This has been so great. I look forward to having you in one of our mission trips and to keep connecting on social media and otherwise. This has been great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here today. If you like this show, please share it with another chiropractor and connect them with this message. We are always better off together than we are alone. If you haven't yet subscribed, head on over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes, and don't forget to rate and review the show while you're there. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram and Facebook, and find out more about today's guests and all things Rockstar Doctor Life by clicking in those show notes. See you next time.